My name is Dee Kidd. I'm the director here at Tucson Wildlife Center. We are a rescue, rehab, and release facility. So basically we're not a zoo. We do have some educational animals and a few animals that have to live here due to some injuries that they sustained or health things that they've encountered, so they have to stay here. But as a whole, we field about between 5,000 and 7,000 calls a year from the public that knows we're out here through our wildlife services. We have 4 ambulances that run 24/7. We have a lot of birds and animals that have human encounters, and that's why they're here. Probably up to 80% of all the intake. So we bring these animals into the center and we triage them and we administer surgeries if they need, or treatment, whatever type of treatment that they need. And we bring them out here into their rehabilitation area, or we take them right back to where we found them to release them. So basically that's what we're all about. We focus on every piece of wildlife. Raptors, which are eagles, hawks, owls. We have coyotes, bobcats, skunks, raccoons, fox, all of the other larger predatory animals we focus on. I think through education is really the key. The key of every time you go out in the spring just to even trim your trees, be aware that there are lots of birds' nests in the trees. There's lots of babies being born, and that means mice, rats, what people consider pests, fertilizers, and especially mouse traps, not traps, but stuff like that, decon, poisons, poison the environment like you wouldn't believe. And that does not just poison the rats or the mice that you're trying to get. It goes up the food chain into the secondary poisonings, and we get coyotes and bobcats and so many birds here every year that are poisoned by that type of thing. So I think just education mainly is the key, and the use of lead ammunition. And 99% of the eagles that we get are lead poisoned. And a lot of our raptors, bobcats, coyotes, same thing. And this happens after the hunter has left remains of an animal that has lead shot in it, and then these animals pick up this lead and they are poisoned, and it's very difficult to treat, and it's very expensive to treat too. Well, we have just completed Arizona's first eagle flight line, which is a very large flight enclosure for the eagles that we get, with a pelican pond in it for the pelicans that we get in the summer. And of course our hospital here will be Arizona's first state-of-the-art wildlife hospital that will be staffed by vets and administrative offices. We also have a bobcat expansion that's going on to house more bobcats, because we do seem to be getting more of them. So it's we're definitely growing.
The mission of the museum is to inspire the people of this region to live in harmony with the Sonoran Desert, with its wildlife. So primarily the museum serves to educate the public and to inspire love for the species that live here. So I mean, that's pretty key to conservation, is education and fostering an appreciation for the wildlife that exists here, the biodiversity. Without that, then there's really no way to implement any effective policy to conserve. Our animals species that we are holding or keeping in captivity until they can be re-released into suitable habitat. So, for instance, we may be holding a species that was found in an area that was burned recently. A big fire went through the area, so their current habitat currently is not suitable. We have an immense diversity of species, plant species here. And the ones that we have are representative of the Sonoran Desert region as a whole. But we have a lot of the columnar cacti because they're sort of iconic of the Sonoran Desert, especially the saguaro. And agaves too are very important, not only in terms of the ecology of the species, but also they've been really important in cultural uses in the past. Well, hummingbirds are very important pollinators, and they're migratory pollinators, and we had a long project working on migratory pollinators and their conservation, so pollinators that pass through this area as part of their migratory route. And hummingbirds are also just an organism that really people respond to well, that people love to see. So that's another reason to have that group here. In order to preserve the biodiversity of the Sonoran Desert, we require both research on the needs of species, where species are distributed, ecosystem functioning, how ecosystems work, but we also require education, because without the support of the people, then the research is really pointless. So we are trying to inspire conservation through fostering an appreciation and a love of the Sonoran Desert.